I'm explaining a film from 2023 titled Sniper Grit. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the content. In the bustling city of Malta, Africa, the formidable gang leader Babalo holds sway, commanding respect and admiration akin to that of a deity. However, his reign faces upheaval when an attempted assassination disrupts the city's equilibrium. After being narrowly spared from the assassin's sword, he finds himself in a suspicious and paranoid world. He gives his trusted allies the command to find the attacker since he is desperate for information. His cruelty emerges when their efforts are in vain, as he brutally shows off his dominance by killing one of his own soldiers. Amid the confusion, Babalo's reliable comrade Sister Anna reveals shocking details about a Japanese agent sent by US troops who goes by the name Lady Death. With a picture of the elusive killer in hand, Anna begs Babalo to see the impending danger. Robert sends a summons to Zero and Brandon, two experienced government agents, in the huge city of Los Angeles. Renowned for their prowess in espionage and combat, Zero's precision and Brandon's marksmanship make them formidable assets in Robert's operations. Tasked with a perilous mission, the duo learns of Lady Death's involvement, and her perilous quest to eliminate Babalo. Joined by a common past with Lady Death, they set out on a perilous voyage across continents to arrive at Malta. Their goal is to remove Lady Death from danger while negotiating the perilous underbelly of Malta's criminal underworld. The borders between friend and foe become more hazy as allegiances are challenged and friendships are dissolved, forcing Zero and Brandon to face the ghosts of their past while working to ensure that they will live without fear of dying. Amidst the strain, Babalo retreats into the shadows to plan Lady Death's murder while distancing himself from any direct involvement. He is enraged about her departure. Sensing the impending danger, Robert, the orchestrator behind the scenes, enlists the formidable duo Brandon and Zero for a mission of unprecedented magnitude, not only to rescue Lady Death, but also to dismantle Babalo's reign of terror. Driven by their devotion to Robert and their desire to solve the mystery surrounding Lady Death's fate, they eagerly arrive at Babalo's stronghold and immediately assume their respective roles. Brandon assumes the guise of a sharpshooter ready to strike from a distance, while Zero infiltrates dressed as one of Babalo's guards, ready to sow discord among the ranks. A sumptuous feast breaks out within Babalo's dominion, giving Zero the ideal cover to blend in with the guards while Brandon carefully arranges himself for the impending encounter. Zero's sharp eyes identify Babalo's inner circle amid the festivities, including the evasive Anna and her watchful bodyguard, laying the groundwork for their eventual takedown. Simultaneously, Brandon's trained sights lock onto Babalo's mascot, eliminating the first obstacle with lethal precision. With a swift maneuver, Zero orchestrates a rendezvous, luring Anna and Katrina, Babalo's trusted partner, to the rooftop, where Brandon lies in wait, poised to execute their plan. As it happens, Brandon fires a shot that instantly kills Anna and her bodyguard. And Zero launches a lethal chase of Dr. Zoran, Babalo's right-hand man. But just as Dr. Zoran is about to block Zero's march, he turns out to be an unexpected ally who has joined Lady Death's cause, changing the course of events. In the middle of the mayhem, Lady Death appears out of the shadows, her loyalty now obvious as she plans their quick escape from Babalo's grasp. After completing the task, Brandon and Zero seek refuge in the desolate area of a desert chapel. Their adventure was perilous, but it ended in victory when they stood with Lady Death and their newfound comrade in front of the huge, harsh terrain. When Robert received the news of the successful completion of their mission, he couldn't contain his happiness. However, Lady Death recounts a harrowing encounter. Just as she is about to let her guard down, a sudden barrage of gunfire erupts from behind. Aya fires off a barrage of rounds while hiding in the shadows, just missing Lady Death. Dr. Zoran thankfully steps in quickly to neutralize the threat and assist Lady Death, who is left disturbed but unhurt. The gang ultimately goes to bed in spite of the near miss, hoping to get away from the day's events after an unexpected treachery upends their brief calm. The next morning, Brandon finds his laptop, vital intelligence files, and his jeep, as well as Dr. Zoran, missing. This is a terrifying finding. It is evident that Zoran, seeing chance, betrayed them by stealing their valuables and making way to a neighboring cafe. Unbeknownst to Zoran, Zero had been covertly nestled in the back of the jeep during the night. Swiftly deducing Zoran's intentions, Zero pursues the fleeing traitor, enlisting the aid of his tech-savvy accomplice, Bench, to track Zoran's movements through the stolen laptop. Their inquiry reveals a sinister plot in which Zoran plans to sell the stolen knowledge to an enigmatic individual going by the name KH. Zero does not lose any time in telling Brandon and Lady Death about Zoran's betrayal because time is of the importance. They all gather together at the location where Zoran is supposed to meet KH. Unaware of the approaching retaliation, Zoran surrenders the stolen data during a tense confrontation. Without pausing, Zero intercepts and uses a well-aimed shot to hinder Zoran's effort to escape. Despite this, Zoran escapes and heads to Spain. After the chaos passes, the gang takes temporary shelter in a neighboring hotel, where Lady Death at last opens up to them about her sad background. Orphaned at a young age, she endured a tumultuous upbringing under Spain, that molded her into a skilled marksman to serve nefarious ends. However, after a decade of servitude, she resolved to break free from Spain's grasp, embarking on a quest for independence and redemption. Back in Spain, Anna meets her old ally and demands an explanation after somehow escaping Brandon's gunshot. During a heated conversation, Spain makes the startling discovery that they can follow Lady Death's whereabouts using the phone that Zoran gave them. With this newfound understanding, Anna embarks on a relentless hunt with the goal of capturing Lady Death at whatever costs. The escalating tensions reach a boiling point when one of Anna's operatives stumble upon Lady Death dining with Brandon and Zero. The attacker makes a surprise assault in the midst of a frenzied brawl, setting up a violent altercation amongst the three. Allegiances are put to the test among the mayhem, trapping the three in a fatal game of cat and mouse as the real menace waits in the shadows, ready to surface. The seriousness of the issue is made evident when Zero gets a call from Pitt, an informant who details Anna and Spain's pursuit of Lady Death. The tracker that was put in Lady Death's phone allows Anna's operative to locate them down. Lady Death, Brandon and Zero quickly trash their phones in a frantic attempt to escape detection, cutting the electronic trail that may reveal their whereabouts to their adversaries. However, the realization dawns upon them that they neglected to inform Robert. The next day, Robert's apprehension mounts as he realizes the absence of communication from Brandon and Zero. Consulting with the resourceful bench, he contemplates drastic measures to locate his missing operatives, sensing an underlying threat. In the uncomfortable stillness, he mulls over a choice that might permanently change the path of their quest. In the meantime, Brandon and his group come upon an odd car that seems like it belongs to Anna's group. Before they can respond, they are being attacked by Anna's goons, who are pursuing them. Zero and Brandon almost escape their attackers during a wild gunfight, coming out bruised but alive. They are bewildered by the unexpected attack and wonder how Anna's operatives located them. Their misgivings are heightened and they find a secret monitoring device within Lady Death's tablets, exposing Dr. Zoran's cunning role in their situation. Determined to turn the tables, Brandon devises a cunning plan to deceive Anna's operative. Luring the unsuspecting tracker to a hotel, they set a trap, orchestrating a swift and decisive ambush that leaves their foe vanquished. With their enemy dispatched and Lady Death's safety momentarily secured, she takes charge, initiating a direct confrontation with Spain. Spain receives a challenge from Lady Death during a heated phone call, challenging him to a face-to-face meeting to finally resolve their disagreement. Spain grudgingly accepts the meeting after first hesitating, which sets up a dramatic confrontation. Lady Death shows up at the agreed-upon meeting spot at first light, and Spain in his svelte automobile follows soon after. Their reunion is brief, though, as Anna and her group quickly surround them and ensnare them in a web of peril. Lady Death is being watched over by Brandon and Zero, but they are helpless against Anna's overwhelming force, which takes the three prisoners and takes them to the evil Babelo's lair. Meanwhile, Robert and Pitt race to the scene aboard their boat with a sense of urgency. Utilizing their resourcefulness, Robert commandeers nearby CCTV cameras, leveraging the surveillance system to gain insight into Anna's stronghold. With each guard dispatched, Robert carves a path of rescue, his determination unyielding. Tensions explode as Anna and Lady Death Spain are taken before the enraged Babelo. Furious with Lady Death for tricking him, Spain aims a rifle at her head, only to be outclassed by her quick reflexes. She reverses the situation by disarming Spain with a move. An important turning point in the lethal game occurs when Anna meets her flaming demise at the hands of Lady Death in a blaze of vengeance. The win, though, is fleeting since Brandon and Zero are pulled into the conflict with their lives in jeopardy. Lady Death is forced to make a terrifying decision and releases Spain in order to protect her companions, but their respite is short-lived. In a dramatic twist, Robert and Pitt storm the scene, unleashing a torrent of gunfire that shatters the fragile peace. Amidst the chaos, Lady Death valiantly faces down Anna's henchmen, the odds stacked against her. Yet, as the battle rages on, her strength wanes, her fate hanging in the balance. In an unanticipated moment of deliverance, Zero opens fire from above, tipping the scales in their favor. When Lady Death faces Spain again, she finds him injured and beaten despite the fact that triumph is now within grasp and the dust has fallen. After justice is done, she calls the police, guaranteeing Spain's capture and the termination of his terror campaign. A feeling of finality descends upon her as she leaves Malta, her job accomplished, and an arduous chapter in her trip comes to a conclusion. She is determined to overcome any obstacles that may come her way, even though she realizes that her struggles are far from done as she peers out to the horizon. Thanks for watching the recap. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support means a lot. Hope to see you next time.